If you're planning a cruise now, you are probably wondering what extras, what add-ons are worth it, and what are the ones that you should definitely skip and avoid. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, we just came back from a cruise, and being completely honest, I definitely did some things that cost extra on the cruise, and a lot of them I'm really happy that I did. I did feel like it added to the experience, but at the same time, there are other things that I skipped. Maybe I made a couple of mistakes, but overall, I think I made some good decisions, and I'm going to share with you in this video the things, really, those extras and add-ons that I think are definitely worth it, especially now, because some things have changed in the last couple of years, and the other things that really I think you should save your money on. But I do want to hear from you. So before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And as always, please let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your experiences down in the comments below. So the first one, this is something that a lot of people are very interested in. This is the beverage package. And I really do think on the most part, on most cruise lines, getting that beverage package is worth it. Now, in some cases, this beverage package comes as a perk. It's really rarely free these days, but the perk may have a charge, like Princess Plus, even like Celebrity Always Included, and some of the other cruise lines as well. So while it is not really free, the charge still is better than if you were paying for that package outright. Now, other cruise lines, what they do is they'll have their beverage package that does go on sale. For instance, like Royal Caribbean. And oftentimes, if you are booked on Royal Caribbean, make sure that you do look at the cruise planner ahead of your cruise. Sometimes it's going to be 30% off. Other times it's going to be 2 for 1 or 50% off one person. There's a variety of different promotions, but it is going to be less expensive than when you do get on the ship, or even if you buy it without that special or promotion. Now, of course, you do have to calculate if this is worth it for you. A lot of people say that if you're looking at, if you're maybe more of a beer drinker, then this may not be worth it for you because beer is a lot cheaper than frozen cocktails and that kind of thing. But if you are somebody who drinks cocktails and drinks a glass of wine or two, you only need about 6 drinks a day to make it worth your while. And if you say, well, I'm not going to drink 6 drinks a day, don't forget that this often includes your drinks at the private island. And as well, it does include your specialty coffee, and specialty coffee can definitely run you $4 to even $5 a coffee. And in a lot of cases, it includes water bottles as well. Now, please let me know if you take the beverage package, if you find it worth it for you. We definitely did find it worth it on our last cruise. Number 2, cruise line air. Now, this is a big change from even a couple of years ago, because in the past, a lot of times people would avoid cruise line air or really just not find it worth it. But nowadays, cruise line air is very competitive with most of the cruise lines, and at the same time, it is really a way to have some peace of mind. And most of the time with most cruise lines, you can still pick your air schedule, your carrier, so you really do have that control that you want to have with your flights. But the reason in particular that it is worth it right now is because many cruise lines are almost subsidizing the air when you do have your cruise. So many cruise lines are offering promotions where you may get $200 or even $300 off your flight. So it's definitely something worth looking at when you are booking your cruise. Number 3, specialty dining or dining packages. Now, personally, I really like specialty dining, but whether this is worth it for you depends really what your budget is for your cruise, because honestly, the main dining room, the food is very good on most cruise lines, and it is something that's included. So if you don't want to spend the extra on specialty dining, definitely skip that. But if you do want a meal that's a little bit more special, especially nowadays, the main dining room on the majority of mainstream lines isn't what it was, 5 or 10 years ago. So you may want to have 1 or 2 or more nights where you can try out some of the different specialty restaurants on a cruise. On our recent cruise on Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas, we did go eat at Chops. And I have to say, this was probably in my top 2 of specialty restaurants that I've ever eaten at on any cruise line. It was really that good, and I would definitely do it again. And I even regretted a little bit not booking a larger specialty dining package. Number 4, the cruise ship Wi-Fi. Now, you definitely don't need cruise ship Wi-Fi to use the apps on the cruise line. So if you don't think you need Wi-Fi, definitely don't take it. But for many of us, we are used to having access to the internet. We're used to being more reachable, and having cruise ship Wi-Fi is the way that we can do this. And honestly, the price has started to come down. It's not amazing. It's not like on land, but it has started to be something that is affordable when you wrap it all up into the price of the cruise. Number 5, cruise line excursions. Now, of course, you don't need to book cruise line excursions all the time, but I definitely would book cruise line excursions sometimes. Now, the cases where it's definitely worth it is if you are going somewhere that you're going to be for the very first time. If you're a little bit of a nervous traveler, definitely book that excursion and make sure that you enjoy that day in that cruise port. After all, you're taking a cruise because you do want to travel. So the cruise ship is amazing. It's a destination into itself, but you're going to amazing cruise ports, to islands, to places to visit, to cities, and it's a good idea to take an excursion and be able to explore. At the same time, you do get that peace of mind to know that that cruise ship will not leave without you. Now, something that I really like about booking an excursion, whether it's with a cruise line or even booking with a private vendor, is the fact that I am doing something that I normally wouldn't do otherwise. So if I was just walking around the cruise port, or even if I'm taking a cab to a local beach, which is fine sometimes, when I am doing the excursion, I've honestly never regretted it. I've usually, even when I've done island tours, I've learned so much about the place that I am visiting, and I just absolutely never regret it. It is always worth it to me. Now, if you are getting organized for your cruise, and especially if you're planning for your ports of call, and maybe if you have like a private tour operator that you're booked with, I do have this part of the Ultimate Cruise Planner. I have a form where you can keep track of all of that information, including even what souvenirs that you want to buy, where you want to eat, etc. So all of your research can go right onto that. Now, the Ultimate Cruise Planner is a 47-page downloadable printable cruise planner that will help you to stay organized from the time that you book your cruise all the way through disembarkation, with cruise packing, lists, and more. Now, if you are interested in checking out what's included in the Ultimate Cruise Planner, then what I'll do is I will leave the information linked down in the description below this video. Number 6, the cabanas on the cruise line private islands. Now, I have to say, if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said this is a waste of money. So I have changed my mind on this one. And this is basically one of the biggest reasons that I have. But we were on our recent cruise on the Oasis of the Seas, and when we did stop in at Perfect Day at Coco Cay, I did look at, well, when I was looking at the cruise planner, I looked at renting the cabanas, and the price that I saw did include the Thrill Water Park. So looking at that, the price of the cabana, including the Thrill Water Park, was really just a little bit more expensive. And honestly, had we even been 4 or 5 people, it would have been the exact same price. So it was really so worth it. And included in the cabana was basically a locker or a safe where you could put all of your personal items and your valuables. So that in itself was really good. You also got the service of drinks and food brought right to you. And just something to mention, if you do have the beverage package and you're on the island Perfect Day at Coco Cay, your beverage package works on the island. So really, really good. Unfortunately, as I was thinking about it, the price did increase by about $400, so not worth it. But if you do see something like that and it's worth it for you, definitely that is something to book right away. You can always cancel before your cruise. Now, please let me know if you think cabanas are worth it. If you've ever done this at any of the cruise line private islands, please let me know down in the comments below. Now, I have one more item that I think is definitely worth it before I move on to some things that I think are less worth it and some things that I think are absolutely not worth it. Number 7, getting a better cabin. Now, obviously, this really does depend on your budget. So no matter what cabin that you're in, you're going to have a great cruise. So not to worry. But it really is something we've always cruised in inside cabins, sometimes ocean view, sometimes balcony. But more recently, since the pandemic, we've been cruising in balcony cabins. And you know what they say, once you get a balcony cabin, it is hard to go back. And we did book another cruise and I booked a balcony cabin again. And I am finding that it is worth it. And again, please let me know if you think it is worth it or if you're better off putting the money on some of the other things that I mentioned in this video. Number 8, the photo packages. I've heard from so many people who find the photo packages on cruises reasonable and absolutely worth it. And I do think when compared to going to see a photographer at home, they're definitely a very good value. And at the same time, you're on vacation, everybody's happy, you're dressed up a little bit. Why not? Get those memories, take those photos, especially if you're on a special occasion cruise, if you're cruising with your kids and they will let you, or even if you're cruising with grandparents, make sure that you take those photos and you take those memories. And some cruise lines are even now having packages where they are included sort of as perks, and it could really be worth it to look into it. Number 9, spa packages. Now, I've definitely heard some mixed reviews on this, so I think you need to do your homework on your particular ship. What is going to be included? What are the amenities like if you do take a spa pass for the week? But so many people really enjoyed, especially on specific ships. And if it's not the spa pass, it may be an adult only area like the Sanctuary on Princess or like Vibe on Norwegian Cruise Line. So it is something to definitely look into because you may get a lot out of having those thermal or those spa passes for the cruise. So those are the things that I think really have a lot of value in them, the extra cost items that I think are worth it to upgrade on a cruise. But there are a few things that I just think are extra costs that you could just avoid and skip when you're on a cruise. Now, one of them, and this might be a little bit controversial, but this is upgrading to the premium beverage package. Now, I know some people do, and if you drink these drinks, these top shelf liquors, or even these better wines all the time, then definitely this is something that you should do if you would pay for them anyway. But in my case, I found that when I had a classic package on a variety of different cruise ships, this really just worked fine for me. And the odd time that a drink is maybe $1 or $2 more than what the package has, I just paid an additional cost for that. At the end of the cruise, I think I had a bill for about $30, whereas if I had upgraded to the package, it would be well over $100 for the cruise. Now, something else that I just don't think is worth doing on a cruise, and I think it's just overpriced, are pedicures and manicures on cruise ships. I think they're about double the prices if you do this at home. And honestly, I just prefer getting on the cruise with my nails done already, my pedicure done already, and I'm just ready to be able to relax and have a good time without having to stay in the spa and have this done. So let me know if you disagree, if you find the pampering really is worth it, but I think it's probably close to double the cost. So I just think do it at home before you get on the cruise ship. Next up, early boarding programs like Faster to the Fun on Carnival or the Key on Royal Caribbean. And I really tried to look at the value of the Key, for instance, on Royal Caribbean. I really did look at that planner. I debated it, but even on sale, I just couldn't really see the value in it beyond the first embarkation day lunch. I just didn't see it. And boarding early, to be honest, sometimes you have delays to get on the cruise ship anyway. And you can also, well, board by booking a time, an embarkation day time. So I just didn't find the value in it. But if you do, please let me know. Maybe there's something I'm missing in these programs. And I know I might offend some people with this one, but Starbucks, I just don't get it. And by the way, I am a fan of Starbucks, but I guess I'm not a super fan because I just find the specialty coffee on cruise ships really, really good. And if I have a beverage package, I won't go to Starbucks. But I know this is still really popular on cruise ships, but I absolutely don't get it. I just don't think it's worth it when there's everything else on cruises that's pretty much included or you can get within a package. I don't think Starbucks is worth it, but let me know if I am wrong on that. Now, I'm going to leave the information about the Ultimate Cruise Planner in case you're interested right below this video in the description. Now, the Ultimate Cruise Planner is a downloadable printable cruise planner that you can print out as many packing lists and as many forms as you need for as many cruises that you do go on. Now, I'm going to leave a video right after this one all about the things that we absolutely loved on Oasis of the Seas, and it's full of cruise tips for you as well. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would love to have you here within the Life Well Cruise community. Bye for now, and happy cruising.